I don't need to go on about Bob, but those of you that know, those of us that are do the X's and the O's for this organization know that we could not do this without Bob. And Bob, at one point, there are lots of wonderful people that could be chairman of the board, but we got to about year 3, and I told Bob, I said, if I'm staying, you have to stay the chair. That's just the way it's going to be. And so he kind of agreed, I think, and we've had a wonderful working relationship, and we also have a wonderful friendship. But you're in good hands with Bob and the board. And so I just want to take a few minutes here at our end of our time together tonight. First of all, to say that there is some bittersweetness, absolutely, and obviously because I'm leaving, there's a tinge of this tonight that feels like it's about me, but this is not about me. Tonight is not about me. I was able to sing, they invited for me to sing, and I'm glad to do so in whatever way I can, but this is an evening that celebrates Master Chorale. Master Chorale, the health of any nonprofit organization is past its board and past its artistic director in this case. Will the organization survive? One of the very first questions an organization usually asks, there's a book about this, will you survive past your founding director? Because there are about 70% of organizations that are founded by someone, and when they go, meaning they retire or pass on, that organization also leaves. The strong, sturdy, healthy ones survive past that. We're way past that at this point. We're going to have music director number 5 coming up here whenever that person is eventually hired. And so the organization is in a place that it has cut off its training wheels. It is now in perpetuity, a part of the cultural community of this area. You all are, at least most of you, part-time residents, if not more, of this Tampa Bay region. And many of you travel the world. Almost everyone in this room is a giver to the Master Chorale. That's why you're here tonight. This is our way of thanking you. Philanthropy is the only way this survives. I said it many times this year already. Art music in America only survives on giving. It is not subsidized by anyone. If a church subsidizes it, so be it. But usually, they're only working on donations of their own members. There's no budget line from the country. There's no budget line from any place that makes this happen. And I've been involved in non-for-profits now for many, many years, starting with Seraphic Fire. We're in our 15th season and now 6 seasons here. And everyone knows my story here, which is that I'm a product of Master Chorale. My first choral experiences, my major choral experiences, were with this choir as a 18-year-old. And he's here tonight. I'm just going to recognize him. My very first voice teacher, Jerry Reynolds. Also, he's here tonight here, and I'm so glad he's here. I think he wants to say something. I was 17. Okay, 17. Memory goes when you get my age. Yeah, exactly. But I remember, I could go through, and I'm not going to, but all of the first time I sang a Beethoven 9, the first time I sang a Mahler 2, the first time I sang a Brahms Requiem was all as a student in this organization. So I know what it means in actual human currency, because I hope I am the actual ledger line of that. Whatever you think I am able to do, or whatever you think I am capable of becoming, is all as a direct result of the experiences created by this nonprofit organization. I always say nonprofit because it's how we are. It's what we are. There are lots of different art nonprofits, but we're an arts nonprofit, which are some of the they struggle the most in many respects, because it's so hard to receive grant dollars for what we do. We have to create this amazing narrative to try to describe what we do to people that don't understand what we do. And the truth is, and I don't mean this to sound frank, most people think, well, there's a bunch of rich white people doing art music. Seriously. And so they don't want to fund it through grants, because who's that going to meet? But the truth is, we know that every human heart and soul needs to hear Beethoven 9. They've got to hear the story of Mahler 2, the resurrection. It's not about the resurrection of Christ. It's about the resurrection of the human spirit. These stories that are told from generation to generation are told because they must be told. Well, who are the storytellers? In this case, it's this group. We will not have a Verdi Requiem. We will not have a Mahler 2. You will not hear a Brahms Requiem. Every singer in here knows how hard that piece is. You're not just going to throw a choir together and do a Brahms Requiem with the Florida Orchestra. It takes effort, energy, organization, planning, all kinds of things that this organization does every year routinely on a just a absolutely amazingly sturdy level. You're here because you gave. You're here because you've given to this group before. Are the doors locked? All right. So, listen, I'm on the way out the door. Anything you give tonight doesn't come back to me at all. This will not be included in any paycheck I receive. There aren't any more. Maybe a couple, I don't know. But this is not for me. This is for you. This is for this area. This is so that if Colin and I come back in 15 years and we're visiting friends in Tampa and we'd like to hear the Poulenc Gloria, guess what? There is an able-bodied group to do the Poulenc Gloria. And Master Chorale is launching a new education initiative next year to go into the schools and to go to places that may not even ever hear this kind of choral music. And to underprivileged schools and to schools that just may not get to hear adults sing choral music. That's starting this coming year. So there are a million reasons, and everyone knows how passionate I am about the music itself. Everybody knows that, and you are too. That's why you're singing it, or that's why you attend the concerts. But I think what you don't know is what it takes to make all this happen. You give. But Master Chorale, for a group of our size, we're funded about 60% of what the rest of the country is funded, at which we're funded. We actually do more with less. And in the business model, they want you to do that. Like, yeah, yes, you do more, we give less. That's great. But what happens is you don't realize what you could have done if you had just a little more. The CD that we just recorded is spectacular. It's going to be great. As I was editing it, I kept thinking, God, if we'd had 2 more nights of recording sessions, just 2 more nights, we couldn't afford 2 more nights. It's just too expensive. So no one gets rich in this other than by the capital of human resource and by love. If you've given before, I'm asking for you tonight to commit to give again. I'm actually asking you to do it right now. I've never done this in front of this group. In 6 years, I've never made an ask. If you're going to make a charitable gift this year to any organization, I'm asking you to retract it from them and give it to us. This organization, the summer months are always the hardest because the way that we meet our budget is by working. We work with the orchestra, we work in public. In the summer we don't work. It's always so lean. I see Kara, she has no gray hairs. But they're gonna come in the summer. Because it's so hard for us to keep everything moving. We're launching for next season and cash flow is always tight in the summer. It's very common for lots of organizations, but I don't think that we should just say, oh, well, it's common, let's just live with it. If you care about it, and we need to find more of you, if you're willing to take whatever you gave and double it, I would be grateful to you for it. If you're do you have your checkbook and your credit cards with you tonight? Good. Kara has, first of all, listen, Kara has the ability to take your payment this evening. And when I say payment, I don't mean it as a payment, as an obligation, but a payment of love. You're making an investment in the Master Chorale. And this sounds like, oh, he's saying all the catchwords. They're not catchwords. These are honest words. The Master Chorale does not exist if you don't give. They don't. There are envelopes on your table. If you say, you know what, let me go home and think about how much I'm going to give, then you can go home and mail it back later. There is a pledge card on your table, a little blue card. You can pledge to renew your gift, to double your gift. What I'm asking you to do is give a gift tonight. This was my goal personally. I wanted to see if we could raise $10,000 in this room tonight. I don't know if it's possible. I've never asked for this. I've done it in Miami, and Miami has been able to do it. So will you? And when I finish here just a second, you have about 2 minutes to make your final bids for this. This is a fundraising event, folks. I told you in September it wasn't a fundraising event. This one is. If you think the singers of Master Chorale are worth it, then please give something. I love you all, and I appreciate your incredible warmth and welcoming when I came here in 2010, and your incredible warmth and beautiful words of love as I now leave. But Tampa will always be my home. There's no doubt about that. And Colin and I will be back many times. And we'll be back at times when you all are performing, and I'm sure I'll sit in the audience and bawl my eyes out. But whatever I am, it's because of you. So thank you all very much. Bring money.